All right. So I'm out here doing my walk, enjoying life, same as always, making money, doing all that. Hopefully, you gentlemen are doing good. On this one, I want to talk about something different than what I normally talk, because I don't really talk about this stuff too much. One, because I just don't give a damn. But, so on this one, I want to talk about the imbalance, right? Like, and I'm talking about the imbalance of supply and demand, right? There is, at least on the men's side, there is a demand for youthful, beautiful women. On the supply side, however, right, there's very little supply of that going around. Even though there are more women than men in this country, and when I say this country, I mean the United States of America, the vast, vast majority of women are unremarkable, dull, overweight, boring, unkempt. They smell, uh, you know, messed up hair. I mean, you basically name it, and you're going to experience it or you're going to face it. And it's the supply is just literally very limited, which is exactly why the women on the dating, what's the word? The women in the, like the dating apps, right? Like how they get bombarded by men, right? Now, let's be clear because I think it's fair and I think it's important to make a distinction here, right? It's not every woman getting bombarded by men in the dating app, right? It's only the very top women getting all of the male attention. The rest of the women, I mean, like they might as well be fucking invisible because nobody gives a shit about those women, right? And that's true, right? I mean, I walk past thousands of women, every day who are completely unfucking remarkable, and they never even they never cross my mind. I don't ever think about them or not like that, right? Because it doesn't matter because it does not pique my interest. And every time I go to, it's very hard making a video walking on the streets. Cars never freaking stop. But yeah, but like they're very unremarkable. So it's not like something that I remember. Now, when you walk past a beautiful woman, right, or whatever, she's gonna catch your eyes automatically, right? And I mean, I don't. She catches your eyes. You look. You're like, yep, she looks good. And then you go on about your day. But your average everyday woman, I mean, she's at least to me, I don't know. But statistically, and data proves it, right? That I'm not wrong. Is that they are completely invisible because they're completely and utterly unremarkable. And nobody wants that, right? Like I don't, no offense, right? As a human being, right? Everybody has a value. Don't get me wrong. As a human being, everybody's valuable. But just because you're valuable as a human being doesn't mean that you're valuable as a partner, or as a wife, or as a girlfriend, right? It's hard for me to, and I can only speak about me. Okay, it's hard for me to sit here, make the money that I do, take care of myself the way I do, right? I literally walk, as you guys know, I walk 10 miles a day. I take care of myself. I eat the right food. Most of the time, I eat vegetarian. Sometimes I eat meat because obviously we are carnivores and you still have to have real protein. But I'm not going to do all that, right? And then just date this completely, I don't know. Uh, what's the word? Basic, basic woman. I'm not going to use the B word. Okay? I'm not. right? Like I'm not going to do that. Uh, and and then it's worse because I went monk, and I'm not going to date. I'm not going to date her, whether she's your basic woman, or she's fabulous, or she's hot, whatever. I don't give a fuck. And so that pool, with that in mind, that pool increases for men by one, but then on the other side, it decreases by two women by one because I'm no longer in the pool. But the lack, right? And so you see that the men are attempting to it's an economic effect, supply and demand. The supply cannot meet demand, and so the men are attempting to replace that supply, i.e., with foreign women. But however, I mean, like anybody can see it, right? It's not hard. It's not hard to see it that those women are even fucking worse because those countries, right? So most people, will tell me about Colombia. They'll tell you about, China, Japan, Korea, and I'm like, those countries are going fucking extinct because those men would rather die the fuck out than be anywhere near those women, right? Those men are not doing anything to increase their economic output because they don't give a fuck. Those guys don't see any value in those women, and if their own fucking if their own men don't see their value, I sure as fucking not, right? Because there clearly is no value there. Okay, and most of these women are, again, your standard run-of-the-mill basic women, nothing to brag about, right? Like I'm not going to listen to a woman bitch and complain and moan and this and that, right? And yap her fucking mouth, and she's butt fucking ugly. That's not gonna fucking happen. I may take a little bit of abuse if she's pretty, if she's very hot, right? Because I'm going to I'm gonna grab her and I'm gonna take all that abuse out, all my anger out, and I'm gonna fuck the living shit out of her, and I'm gonna make her, do what? Suck my dick. And that'll be kind of worth it until it's not, right? Because it's an opportunity cost. Once the headache becomes too much, I kick that bitch outside too. And then I go to the next one, right? But there really is not that many women. You would be surprised. Like if you walk down the street, you would be shocked to see maybe like 100 good-looking women out of thousands, right? The rest of them are just your regular, ordinary women. And that's why men aren't even bothering, right? They're not. Okay? You can't tell me that men are incels and this and that, because scientifically, right, it's proven that that term doesn't work, right? They have done scientific research, and and you can clearly see it that that's not accurate. They're not involuntary because they can't get the women. They are involuntary in the aspect that they can't get the beautiful women, but they are very much voluntary celibate when it comes to your average everyday woman. They would rather fucking die out than be with her. And that's the truth. And that is happening worldwide, right? Because as we get better, as society gets better, right? I don't need to I don't need to suffer. I don't need to wake up in the morning and look at her ugly ass face. Okay? So, she can wash my clothes and do I don't need that. All of that can get taken care of. Right? I have a dishwasher, I have a clothes washer, I have dry cleaning, right? The dry the I don't know about you guys, but for me, the lady that comes in cleans my apartment. She takes all my clothes and takes them to get dry cleaned, and then the dry cleaning company brings them back. So you don't need that, right? And so that's why you don't have those relationships. You don't have relationships occurring because there is no benefit. It's no benefit to the men. Not really. Because as far as getting a woman, I mean, it's not that hard, right? Most women are thirstier than men. Most women have a higher sex drive than men do, right? Especially as they come towards towards their late 20s into their early 30s. Right? It's not that's not every girl you see out there, right? They're they're all what? I think it's what is like 40 or 50% are single, 60% are single. I mean, it's got to be 60% single, because if you have 60% of the men not dating, then logically, that would mean that it would be a higher number of women who are single. Not just because they're getting dick down, it doesn't mean that they are going to get a relationship, right? Women don't have a problem getting, getting a man to sleep with them, but they can't get a guy to commit, and that's what they want. They need that security, but they can't get that, right? They're not going to get that. That's crazy, you know? Who's going to go and sign who's going to go sign a 50-year contract on a fucking Honda with 200,000 miles on it? Nobody. That's insane, right? But you would go and sign a 30-year contract, 40-year contract, or a loan, I should say, right? For a Lamborghini, a Maserati, well, maybe not a Maserati. Maserati actually sucks ass. Ferrari, a Bugatti. Yes, and that's the difference. But there's not enough Ferraris, there's not enough Lamborghinis, and there's not enough Bugattis, right? But there's plenty of Hondas. They're everywhere, and they are dirt cheap, and people use and abuse them, right? Every time you go to a light, everybody's going from 0 to 60 every time, destroying the hell out of those cars because they're not worth anything, right? And the people see zero value in those cars, just like they see zero value in your everyday average woman. And that's what society is really terrified about, right? They're terrified that society has raised women and has brought women here that nobody fucking wants, right? And these parents are now waking up every morning and watching their daughters living with them at home, right? They're doing the same thing with the men. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think society cares as much about the men as far as in the aspect of living at home. But they very much so care about the women living at home, and that's why they are using that term as a derogatory term to try to basically gaslight people into going out there and getting a relationship. And it's not fucking working. Right? It's getting worse for them. For us, it's getting better. I don't know. For me, it's getting better. That's really all I can speak of. You know, I would like to think that it's getting better for everybody else, but I don't know.